Now it's gonna work. Okay. Perfection. All right. Hello, everybody. Happy April. Oh my gosh. April. If this is your first practitioner spotlight, welcome. We do these every first Monday with practitioners who are either current students of the Wealth Mentorship or graduates of the Wealth Mentorship, and really just like sharing their journey of what life was like prior to the mentorship, what it was like inside of the mentorship, and what life is like now. And so this is Helena. I'm so excited to have you here and to have you kind of share your journey. Do you want to just like introduce yourself and kind of let me know like
sure.
who you are?
Thank you for having me on. I'm happy to be here. So let's see a little bit about me. I live in Austin, Texas. I started out my career as an accountant. Actually, did you know that? Did I tell you that?
I did know that. Yeah. Big life transition.
Yeah, it's a huge transition. So I worked for about 5 years, but I struggled every day with just not being fulfilled, questioning what kind of difference am I making every day? It just was not, I just was not happy in that role. And then when I had kids, it became really difficult for both my husband and I to have this, very high stress jobs, working so many hours, and we didn't have family in Austin. So I decided, you know what, I think I'm going to just stop and stay home with the kids. And right about the same time, my mom decided to move to Austin, Texas from Minnesota to be around us. And so it was a perfect time for me to kind of pivot. And I decided I was just going to go back to school, and I registered to study nursing. My son was 2 weeks old when I decided to do that and registered. I was taking one class at a time, and it took me a while. It took me like almost 4 years to do a 2-year like the associate degree. But that was the best decision I ever made. I had nurses in my family, and funny enough, I worked as a nursing assistant going to accounting school because nursing was in my head was not an option. It just was, I never even thought about it until later. I was like, I need something that had family life balance, and so that's what I decided to do, and finished school and started working on a mother baby unit and loved the women's services, and worked for about 7 or so years. And I kind of got burnt out doing bedside nursing, with patient nurse ratio that doesn't allow you to give the kind of care that you wanted. So I had heard at that time about postpartum doula work, and I'm like, what is that? And I kind of did a course because that kind of piqued my interest. And I was like, you know what, I think I can do this on the side. So I started a business doing that. So that gave me that one-on-one care with my, clients. And I was doing a lot of breastfeeding assistance. I thought, well, maybe I should go to school, I should learn more about it. So I did the certification for that and became a certified lactation consultant. And somehow that business kind of morphed into just private lactation consulting. So I'd been doing that for about 10 years, but in that time period, my mom got diagnosed with endometrial cancer. And I was in the process of trying to figure out how to help her through her treatments, and came across this whole new world of holistic health that I just did not know existed.
Yeah.
So that was like, just opened up a whole new world for me. So, after her treatment, she got better. But I kept learning. I kept doing, joining all these webinars and stuff like that, kept learning until finally my husband's like, maybe you should go back to school and, do this thing. So,
oh my God,
and I joined. Yes. So in 2019, I decided I was going to join school, and I came across the School of Applied Functional Medicine and joined that. And that's how this came about. And then, I was doing that, and somehow I signed up for with Optimal DX. And I was getting his newsletters, and I came across, I guess, the summit you were doing with him. So, and funny enough, I was doing another business webinar thing with somebody else. So it's so weird that, how you do it every day and then it goes away, and I couldn't catch up. And I thought I was purchasing that program, and I actually purchased your program before your program was even
No.
live.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, oh crap. Well, I guess, I get this. So yours came on, and I was like, well, I couldn't do it. So I'm like, I've already purchased it. I can do it. And I was like, so I started following you. And that's how, you're
That
thinking, like, this is a
is
sign.
like, wow. The universe was like, boom, like just
Just
like
bringing
put
the
me in
right
front of
person in
you.
my path. Yeah, yeah. So then I had heard the summit, and then I think I did one of your quizzes. And
Mhm.
then one of your assistants got in touch with me, and then I had spoken to you, and I'm like, I don't know about this. This is just way more than I can handle, like the financial investment. You remember, I was like,
Oh my,
you need
I
to talk to my
know.
husband too,
I
because we
know.
could
We got
not
on a
figure
call
it
with your
out.
husband totally. I love him. He's so supportive, but
Yeah,
he's
he
like very
does.
like, logical, masculine, like engineer, like
And
let's talk about these numbers
exactly.
and like everything.
Right. And then I was like, I was still not convinced. I had one of your students who was also a SAFM graduate. So I wanted to talk to her to see, okay,
Uh-huh.
is this different? Is it the same? But I
Yes.
just could not get this thought out of my head. I'm like, okay, thing is just came to me out of the blues. It has to be my path. This is meant
Yeah.
for me. So I just closed my eyes and jumped.
Oh, I am so glad you did. Like
I,
it was such a journey. And like even just hearing your journey, it's like it's so beautiful. I think everybody has this really unique path and like how they enter this world and like the world of like the healing and like really tapping into what feels super aligned. And it's like everyone's journey is so unique. And it's just
yeah.
really cool to just hear how you opened the doors that were presented in front of you and you walked through and it was like, okay, this is what's next, okay, this is what's next, and you like really trusted yourself, which I think is just, it's so huge. And luckily
Yeah.
you have a supportive husband who's
I
you
do.
know
I do.
yeah,
That helps a lot. That helps a
yeah,
lot. And, but yeah, I think I've always kind of opened up myself to wherever kind of things come up. I
yeah.
was like, okay, well, let me see how this turns out. And, things kind of happen to open up. So I was like, okay, I think this is the one that I need to do it. And yeah, and
So
here I am.
cool. So cool. So when you were done with the SAFM or you were doing this other business program, was there something specific that you were working on or seeking, or like what, like were you doing fee for service? Were you working with people one-on-one? Like what
So
was that like for you?
while I was still in school, I had started working with friends and families,
Mhm.
just on a smaller scale. And then that other business coach was just a webinar, again, just like your summit that I was listening to on the side, because I knew like I needed something to move me forward, because
Mhm.
part of the problem was I had so much self-limiting beliefs that I needed to work through, because I just felt like I did not know enough. I always, I'm doing all these courses and just felt like I just did not know enough. So I kept
Mhm.
myself really, really small.
Mhm.
So I was just doing fee for service. And even then I was not charging a whole lot of money. And then I also had this other huge issue related with money. Somehow I associated that was with a negative thing.
Mhm.
So I just, I was trying to make myself be accessible, but then at the same time I was feeling like, okay, I'm not being compensated for the things that I'm doing. So I had really struggled with a lot of that. So that's how I came into you with all of that baggage, right? And honestly,
Mhm.
I didn't even know I had that baggage. I knew something was holding me back, but I didn't really know to even put words to it because I could not identify
Totally. Yeah. It was just
that.
like ingrained. It was just a part of who you were and how you were operating
Yeah,
in the world, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Yeah.
the mentorship helped me explore that, and really identify, okay, yes, this is definitely holding me back. And
Mm.
most of it is my issue. So
Mm.
now that once I've identified it, then, the hypnosis worked wonders for me. That really helped me visualize myself in a different way, that yes, I do know stuff. I don't need to know everything. I can always research information.
Yes.
And I just need to be a few steps ahead of the people that I'm helping, right?
Yep.
So that really helped me shift things. And then the biggest thing that your mentorship helped me it helped me to think bigger. Sometimes you don't even know to ask questions if you don't know, right?
Yes, you don't know what you don't know, right?
You don't know
Like,
what you
just
don't
they say
know.
that, but it's like, it's
Right.
so true. You don't even know what the possibilities are, like that. Yeah, it's just like you have this idea of what is possible, and I think through school, especially like conventional medical school or any of the other schools actually too, naturopathic medical school, you think like your options are very limited.
Yeah.
And you start interacting with other practitioners, you're like, whoa, I didn't even, what? Like I could do that, or like I
Right.
didn't know that was possible, or that I could do this, or work with people in this capacity, or create this, or show
Yeah.
up in this way, or whatever.
Definitely. And previously I was getting kind of frustrated because the way I had modeled my practice or what I was doing was, people come to me, they just give me the lab work that their doctors run. I do a functional lab analysis of what they already have. And then I would suggest, okay, you need to do more labs, or maybe we can do gut test or whatever. So it was always like, I would present that, but a lot of people were not willing to do that. So it was just like, I always felt like I was shooting in the dark. I did not know where things were. I know there's an inflammation, but I don't know where it's coming from, but then they're not willing to do the test. So it was just a lot of frustration.
Totally.
And once I figured out your method of, what, okay, so you just price it at this level and include all of these tests, I'm like, oh, wow. Did not know that was even a possibility, right? So it was just a whole eye-opening thing for me. And then of course, because I had that money associated negatively, I was also like, I just did not feel comfortable charging that. I just don't know. It was just like a whole mess
Yes,
of
yes.
emotions and, things happening. So this mentorship helped me to really identify those and move through those and come out at the other end feeling like, you know what? Yes, I'm charging this much money, but I'm also providing this much care, right? It's giving them that much possibility of things that, what could take 2-3 years to resolve, taking
At
small
least,
steps.
if
Exactly.
ever.
If
Yeah.
ever, right. So I came to terms with that, and that was a huge progression for me. It was huge for me. It was
It's
just like,
really embodying your worth. Like that
yeah,
is embodying your worth, which
yeah,
is just like,
yeah. And you kept telling me, I remember when we were having these conversations about how you need to work from not sustenance and not with
overflow instead of sustenance.
right, right. So
Uh-huh.
that resonated with me a whole lot because I mean, I've spent so many years, doing a lot of research on my own, doing a lot of work on my own. And then I went to school and learned this stuff. So I do know a lot more, and I need to value myself and my knowledge and the time that I've spent to, learn all this stuff. So that really helped me to move through that. And the other thing was, I also did not want to do any type of marketing. The whole social media thing was just gave me just palpitations, just even thinking about doing that.
I remember like even on our call prior to the mentorship, that being like, you're like, this sounds great. And like,
Yeah,
I'm literally terrified to get
terrified
on
of that.
camera or to like be on social media. And now someone has
You froze up, Michelle. Are you there? Can you hear me? Michelle?
Are we back?
We're back. Sorry. I was like, so you're gone.
I was like, is that me or is that you? I don't know. Anyways, we're back.
So yeah, so we were talking about the Instagram thing when you kind of froze up.
Yes,
So
yes. Like there's
yes,
so much fear, and then it's like all of a sudden someone has a viral Instagram reel because you put in the work and you like push through and you like actually did it, which is just so amazing. And I'm so proud of you because
thank
that was
you.
totally a part of that, like an outward reflection or an outward sort of manifestation of that, keeping yourself kind of small and like, I don't want to be seen, I don't want to be heard, like, this is all scary. And then you're just like, I'm here.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, let's do this. And you've been really like great and like consistent with that and like making that happen. And it's like there's momentum, which is just
yeah,
so cool.
yeah, yeah. And it's translating. I I am getting, people that are interested. We're booking complimentary calls. I got one client now, and I have a few ladies that are wanting to do it, just not ready quite yet. So I think there's a lady that's going to be starting in the May-June timeframe, and another one a little later. But I didn't jump on with you right away. So it's just planting the
Yep.
seeds. That's how I'm looking at it. It's like I'm just
100%.
planting the seeds, and these people are, it's a whole new world for them. So the
Yep.
first time I tell them how much it costs, it just like they're quiet, but I'm more and more feeling comfortable stating, okay, this is what you get. This is
Yes.
why this is this much, and you're getting a 6 month of me and, consistently holding your hands through the process. So I'm a lot more confident and really, comfortable in my skin now, saying
Huge.
this.
It's
Yeah,
so
yeah,
so cool.
yeah.
I was reading through some of your wins recently when you were just like, I had my sales call and I just said the price and I just let it hang there.
Yes.
It's like, yes. Like really just like really embodying your worth and the value that you're offering, the transformation and all of that. And I think that right there is such a huge part of what so many practitioners are lacking, is that inner knowing of like, I'm literally facilitating a transformation that is life changing, if not life saving in some instances. We're really improving quality of life for long term. And it's like we're teaching schools like skills and resources and tools and all of these things that people get to use for the rest of their life. Like
Right.
it doesn't
Change
like
their family's
expire.
life too, right? Because what
Exactly.
they learn with you, they can translate it into, teaching
Exactly.
their family. So you're really helping a whole group of
Yes.
people.
Yes. A huge
Yeah,
ripple effect that comes
yeah,
from it. So I'm just
yeah.
like so proud of you. Like
Thank you so
it's
much.
just been like beautiful, just like witnessing like your transformation too.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. I
Mm.
thank you for believing in me. Like I said,
Mm.
because I didn't even see the potential, right?
Mm.
Yeah, I do feel like somehow you were sent my way, and
It's true. I believe it. I believe it. And everything just aligned. And
yeah,
luckily your husband was on board
yes,
once we
yes.
had our second call with him. So
Yeah, and after we had that conversation, I was like, look, I can't stop thinking about it. I know I'm supposed to be doing this. I have to do this. And I think I owe it to myself, whether it succeeds or not. I'm just gonna just close my eyes and jump and
yes.
put my all. And I did. I mean, I was
Yeah.
really intensely like, consumed by the whole program,
Yeah.
so to
Yeah. In
speak.
like the
So
best way, right? It's like
yeah,
it
and
is.
because
It's like you are creating something that's changing the trajectory of your life as well, right?
right.
So much more freedom and flexibility and fulfillment and just like, wow, like I'm creating this offer and I have this offer now, right? Like, do you want to talk about like your offer or what you created at this point? And of course, there's always room for
Yeah.
refining and pivoting and all of the things, but
Yeah, I'm still in the process of it, but basically I followed your blueprint, right? I'm doing the 6
Mhm.
functional labs, just
Mhm.
like you, with the full blood and urine chemistry, the DNA test, the organic acids, the GI map, the food sensitivity. Did I miss any? And the
The
Dutch,
Dutch.
the Dutch,
Mhm.
Dutch class. And yeah, and then getting all that data, because I mean, you just get so much data and there's no guessing anymore. You literally see where are the things, the imbalances.
Yeah.
So it just makes my job a lot easier, and my
Mhm.
confidence is there because now I see exactly what is going on.
That
And
part right
then,
there is so huge. Like,
yeah,
especially for practitioners who are like maybe not familiar with functional labs or who are like new to this whole area in general. It's like once you get to like see like the data, you're like, oh, okay. And you also know you have this whole crew of practitioners who also uses the same, protocols or similar protocols and approach.
right.
It's like, wow, I have all of this confidence now to bring into this program because I know that it's
Yeah.
going to get results.
Yes, and what I loved about it, the mentorship was, I don't know, the way you taught the functional labs especially resonated with me because you went
Mm,
step by step by step by step. And I had, from school, I'd learned at a high level about
mhm,
these labs, but I didn't really quite really understand some of the nuances in how to,
mm.
make the connection, and then the
Uh-huh. The
cross-referencing between
cross-referencing.
the
Yeah.
different labs. Just that was really awesome. That was done really well, and it really helped me see things at a deeper level, because
Mm,
I thought I knew some of it. I didn't know all of the different labs, and the ones that I knew, I just knew at a very high level.
mhm, mhm.
So I wasn't very comfortable using them. But now I feel so much more comfort, in getting people to do it, and then reading it, and, interpreting it and
So
kind of
good. Yeah.
seeing the imbalances, and then following through and prioritizing what comes first, what comes
Mhm,
second, so
mhm.
it just, yeah, it really is, definitely boosts the confidence for sure.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Is there anything else you want to add? Do you want to speak from your personal experience about being on the fence? And like what you would say to someone who's like, I know I
Yes.
want to do this, but I'm so terrified of like taking the leap.
Yes, because I've always been a person like, I'm always a doer.
Mhm,
I do everything on my own, so I don't usually outsource things. So the investment was a huge block for me initially, because I'm like, I don't know about this. But then once I came to terms with, yes, I do need help. I don't know where to get this support. And I feel like I was somewhat aligned with you once I met you, talked to you, and felt comfortable with you.
mhm,
Then there was no question. I was like, look, whatever
mm,
it is, I'm just going to do it, and just hope that this is the path for me.
mhm,
And so, yeah, if there's anybody on the fence, I definitely recommend, this is the gift that you give yourself, so that you don't
mm,
question, that you don't not do something because you don't have the knowledge or whatever. The
mm,
mentorship had all of that stuff, the
mm,
functional labs, the business side of it, the marketing side of it. So it was an all encompassing, because in school I learned a lot of the uh, knowledge part, right? And so
mm,
this kind of brought things together for me. It
like
was
more
an
applicable.
added, yes, it was an
Mm.
added bonus that helped me. I think that kind of launched me, but then this kind of helped me jump through, get to where I needed to get to.
Totally.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love that.
yeah. So,
Amazing.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you for
much.
showing up. Thank you for doing the work. Thank you for trusting yourself and trusting me along this journey with you. It means the world to me.
Thank you. And I appreciate you for seeing the potential in me, and, letting me join in the mentorship and supporting me all the way through with, all of the questions, and the guidance and the encouragement and the push that I needed.
It was my absolute pleasure.
Thank you, Michelle.
All right. You have a beautiful rest of your evening. We'll
You
chat soon,
too.
okay?
Okay, thank
All
you.
right.
Bye.
Bye.